Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy. Are you on a budget, but you're wanting to get into laser engraving? You're seeing everybody else make things and you want to get in, but you can't afford all of the accessories. Well, this is the video for you today because I've got a special package that's available nowhere else that you can afford to get into this hobby and have a good time making things. So stay right there. We're about to get started. So are you ready to see the starter kit? I've got it all set up. Let's jump over into the wood shop and take a peek. All right, folks, so here it is. The complete package. Starter kit for anyone wanting to get into laser engraving. The good folks over at Comgrow have given me a special place on their website just for my viewers only. So we have a complete package here, which is everything from the enclosure to the laser, 5 or 10 watt, to the roller accessory, the honeycomb bed with the metal tray that goes under it. A whole complete package at a price that you're not going to find anywhere else. And I want to thank the people at Comgrow for offering this package, because there are a lot of people that want to get into this and that do get into it, and they buy the most budget laser that they possibly can afford, and they don't have proper ventilation, proper exhaust. Now, this has a 4-inch exhaust port on the side. The only additional thing that you need to buy for this whole package is an exhaust fan and an exhaust hose, like a dryer hose. Not a big deal, couple of dollars. The exhaust fans you can get for about 30 bucks. But other than that, you don't have to search everywhere, what's the best this, what's the best that. This is the perfect enclosure for this laser. You can exhaust it out of a window with just a little minor upgrade, and you get everything that you need, so that you can make everything that you see everybody else making. And you can do it safely. And that's the important thing, is doing it safely on a budget. This is it. So let's get into it and let's see what you think of it. So let's talk about the first feature, which is going to be this new honeycomb bed that came from Comgrow. And it has a nice steel tray underneath it. And what I've done is and I'm guessing that they don't understand how this works really well, but I have 3D printed some legs that fit perfectly onto the sides and snap over the front of the honeycomb bed. And these are pretty much generic. They fit my CO2, they fit my ortur honeycomb bed. They fit all the honeycomb beds that I have. I have 5 of them. They're all different manufacturers. So what that does is it raises the honeycomb bed up above that stainless or that steel tray in the bottom, and it keeps from letting the fumes from the laser accumulate underneath the honeycomb bed, which leads to a mini explosion. So you have to have airflow underneath the honeycomb bed. And I guess they don't realize that because they designed it so that it fits flat into that tray. And that's not a good thing. So my friend Liam actually designed these legs for me, and I printed them off just the other night, and they work beautifully. So I'm going to have those for sale soon for Liam on my website. So, but anyway, so there's the honeycomb bed. It's nice, 400 by 400, pretty solid. I think it's going to work perfectly. So let's skip on to the next part. All right, so next in the package is going to be this rotary roller. And I really like this roller, even though it doesn't go wider. I mean, that's the maximum width right there. It works. You just have to set the right speed. And I like this little lifter right here. So that's good for doing like champagne glasses, and you can slide it up and down right there. Very easy to use. You can also adjust this one, move it back and forth in there, but it's really not adjustable. So this is a basic roller accessory. It's pretty much all you need for doing almost anything. As long as you run the speed slow enough, it's perfectly adequate. No assembly required on this, by the way, unlike some of the other rollers that you see out there. So that's the second thing that comes with it. And then finally, we've got the enclosure. This is the best part of the whole deal, in my opinion. You got a nice little enclosure here. There's a 4-inch port on the side there for your exhaust, so all of your fumes get sucked out. And the thing that I like most about this one is the fact that it's easy access. It's so easy to just flip it right up like that and do whatever you need to do. Use the roller accessory, you know, whatever you need to do. Just flips right up and out of the way like that. It fits on my oversized board, which I believe is 24 by 24, with a little tuck in of the cable over here. That's all it needs. And now it's perfectly ready to use. And it's got the observation window here, which you can see, that zips open so that you don't have to remove this to work. So you just flip that up and out of the way, and you have total access in here to change your workpiece. So really nice setup. So now we've got the laser, we've got the honeycomb bed and the bed underliner, we've got the roller accessory, and we got the enclosure. So now you see what I'm talking about when I was saying, you know, is this the best package on the market today? Reasonably priced. And like I said earlier, this is a special price just for my viewers. Now, I've done a complete review video on the Z1 laser, and it did a fine job. And I also have the 10-watt module as well, and that is really powerful. I was very impressed with it. It has very, very fine detail, very small spot size, and I really liked it. But you probably want to see a demonstration of that roller accessory, don't you? I know whenever somebody says diode laser and roller, everybody goes, oh no. Well, this one was surprisingly easy to set up, surprisingly easy to use, and let's just go jump into it real quick, and I'll give you a demonstration of how it sets up and how it engraves. All right, so now we're in lightburn. I've got my laser connected, the Comgrow Z1, and we're going to go ahead and set up the rotary. So let's come up here. Now on your screen it's going to look like this. You're going to have these two new buttons here. You can go to laser tools as well and go to rotary setup, or you can just click this button right here. So on the rotary setup, we're going to use a roller, going to enable it, and the roller diameter, well, that happens to be perfect, 15.6. Okay. And my object, now you don't ever need to use these. This is just the calculator, okay? But my object is 50.95, and that gives me my circumference. And you'll see what we use that for in a moment. So I believe that 60 millimeters per rotation is the recommended setting for the Comgrow. So I'm going to leave it right there. Now I haven't used the roller yet. This is my first try, but I have heard people that had great success at 60 millimeters per rotation. So this number here and this number here are the only two numbers that you're going to have to fill in on this screen, as well as enabling the rotary and making sure that roller is checked. Now I'm not going to mirror the output because we're going to try it first and see if we have to mirror the output or not. So now I know that my circumference for the piece of wood that I'm about to use is 160.064, so I'm going to right click on that and copy it. Okay, and say OK. I'm going to come up here to the left, grab a primitive, draw out a rectangle. I'm going to come to cuts and layers and put that on the line, and in the height up here I'm going to highlight this and paste in that number that we just got and press enter. And this is the amount that the roller should roll back and forth. And that's with the item that I've chosen to use. The width, I'm going to make the width much smaller. I'm going to say 5 millimeters. So we'll unlock it. And actually we'll go 4. Press enter. Now I can lock it again. So there we go. I've got this all set. Next thing we do is go to the move tab. Now the move distance and the speed. Okay, so it's important here. We're going to set the speed to about 20 on this roller because it's so small. And that'll keep it from spinning off the roller while we're trying to do our test burn. Everything else you can leave alone here. And I'm going to come back to my cuts and layers, and I want to engrave. The engraving speed, I think I'm going to go with 100 is good. Max power, I'm going to leave it at 10. I'm going to leave it this just the way it is. Just going to have a low speed, low power, because all we want to do is just mark the wood to see if we have the right settings. Okay, now with that done, most people are going to use user origin when they do the roller. I don't. I put it in the middle. I use absolute coordinates, and I just set the roller accessory directly to the middle like that. And then I'll just use my control arrow to get it perfect. That's perfectly, well, let's get it perfectly in the middle if we want to say perfectly in the middle. There we go. And if you're wondering how I got the crosshairs, that's just in your user settings up here. Let's see, oh, wrong one. I'm going to come into this one here. And in here you'll see show work area cross, center cross. So if you tick this on, you'll get these crosshairs right here that show you where the center is on the work bed. So with that done, I've got my position here in the right spot. I've got my height at the right spot. And remember, the height is the amount all the way around the cylinder so that it wraps all the way around. And with that done, I've got my cuts and layers set, my speed and my power. And I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to hit start. And we'll send this job over to the laser and see how this prints out on the wood. Okay, so the speed was off on that one. I should have put it at like, I don't know, 500 or 600. I put it at 100 by mistake. So I'm speeding this up. I think we're at like 6 times the speed here, something like that. It's coming back around now. And you'll see in a minute that our steps per rotation were off. So we're going to need to fix that. And here it comes in almost the end. There we go. Here we're back in live time. And you can see here, you can plainly see that our steps per rotation were way off. Look at how big that is. So we're going to have to go and fix that. Let's go do that now. All right, so what you saw in that video was I went way too far. So we're going to come back here. I don't know where I saw the 60 from. I saw it somewhere. I think it was somewhere around 41, 42, something like that is what my last roller was, which was very close to this. So I'm just going to put 41 in there, and we're going to give that one a try instead. I wish I was able to use the camera. This wasn't in the shop next door, but because I could just hit the test button over here and see, and then change it and test and change it and test. But it's not, so. And also I had the cut settings way off. I should have known better than this. Putting in 100 speed. Let's do 250 speed this time instead. And that might even be a little slow. Let's go 300. Yeah, we'll go 300. Say okay, and then now I'm just gonna send this to the laser and let's see what happens this time. You can see here that dialed it in pretty close. Let's go ahead and check and just see how far off we are here. We are about 3 millimeters off. So I'm not going to change this by too much because we're very, very close there. But let's change it and see what happens. Okay, that's pretty close. So now being that I went 1.5, I probably should have just went a half. So we'll leave it at that. I'm just going to fix it, do it, take it up to a half, and we'll try an image and see how it comes out. All right, so real quick, I'm just going to change this real quick. I'm going to put it at 40.25, just for me. And I'm going to bring out an image, and then what we're going to do is take the image. I'm going to press the, let's see, the comma key to turn it negative. If I press the period key, it turns it in positive direction. So I'm going to use the comma key. I'm going to scale this down. Now remember that this is all the way around the image. So the one I did in the CO2 was way too big. Let's bring it down to, I guess, about there. That looks pretty good like that. And put it like right in that position right there. And let's go ahead and put that on a toolpath to get it out of the way so that that one doesn't burn. And let's hit start and see how this comes out. I'm debating whether I should leave this in real time or speed it up. I'm thinking that if y'all don't mind waiting, I should probably leave this in real time so that you can see start to finish here. I think you'd appreciate that. I also want to point out that this is the 10 watt Comgrow. So you got to be real careful with the power on this one. On wood, you notice that I didn't change the power. I left it at 10% because otherwise we'd be scorching up this thing really badly, and it would need a lot of aftercare. And I also left the speed down on it as well. And the reason I did that is because I don't want the roller bouncing back and forth too quickly, because if it does, it'll lose its position on the rollers and the engraving won't come out the way we expect it to. So with this speed, it's not going to be bouncing around and you're not going to get skewed images. So that's a problem that a lot of people have, is that they run this far too fast. And when you run it fast, you're not going to get precise, really clean images out of the burn. So keep that in mind. You know, when you're using the roller accessory, you want to go slow and low, just like I like my barbecue. So let me take a peek at it. I know you can't see it yet, but, and it looks like it's coming out really nice. I'll tell you, the price that they're giving me on this package, and again, this price is only available for people that watch this video, for my viewers. So you're not going to find it on the website. You're not going to find it published anywhere. Well, it will be on the website, but it's a private page that's just for my viewers. For the entire package, which is the laser, the roller accessory, the honeycomb bed with the metal plate underneath it, as well as the cover, the enclosure. So if you know, this is a budget package that you're not going to beat the price anywhere. If you're on a budget, but you want to get into laser engraving and you want to have everything that you need to do everything that you see people doing online, you know, then this is the package to get. And now you can start seeing the image of the cat coming through. Can you see that? I hope the battery doesn't run out on this thing. I'm so terrible with cameras. I need to find a sponsor that does audio-visual equipment so they can help me do a better job with all this. That screen did just go dark, so I am going to plug in the charger. Oh, 5%. Wow, I'm so glad I plugged in the charger. Hey, I'm getting better at this stuff. Now I got a nice bright screen and I feel a lot better. So let's get in and get a close-up. Get a close-up of what's going on there. See how beautiful that's coming out? How perfectly detailed. It's really doing a fine, fine job. And I'm going to tell you where people have problems, and that is with the roller accessories, and that is with the speed. So everybody wants to do this as fast as possible, and you know what? This is not a fast procedure using the roller. Even on the CO2, you know, I run the CO2 at, you know, like 100, 120. So what does that translate into? Well, that translates to about 600 speed, but the CO2 can handle it better. On these smaller lasers, they don't handle it quite as well. So you really want to keep your speed down as low as possible. And, you know, I think I put this at 500. Yeah, so that's about right. 500 or 600 as your max. And stay in that low power range, because you're going to get good, clean results like you see here. And this is a first run, by the way, guys. You know, there's no, I do editing on all of these videos, but there's no, you know, additional steps that I'm taking off camera like most of the people that you're going to see doing this to. You're not going to see the mistakes. So you can see here, that was test number 1, that's test number 2, and that was test number 3. And there's the engraving, and you know that's everything that we're covering in the video, step by step. There is no, you know, no cuts in this video where I cut out parts and don't show you changes in settings or whatever. I want to be able to, my videos are designed to take you step by step all the way through so that you see my mistakes and that you can avoid them. And that's one thing I think my viewers appreciate. I think you all, and you're really my friends. So I like to think of you all as my friends. And, we're just having a casual chat. And that's how I feel when I'm making these videos. I feel like I'm talking to my friends. So, I want you to see all of the mistakes. I don't want to edit those mistakes out because it hinders the learning experience. We're all in this learning together. My motto is inspire, create, learn, teach. And, you guys can teach me stuff too. So, and you do. So look at this. Here is the final product. And what do you think of that? I mean, does it get better than that? Doesn't get any better. Doesn't get any easier. No mistakes. Everything is exactly where it should be. This is a beautiful, beautiful engraving on a piece of wood. It is exactly as the image is on the workbed. All right, so there you go. That's the whole package. Plus a demonstration of the roller. I know that a lot of you people out there wanted to see that demonstration of the roller, just because I get so many questions about the ortur roller and the setup and everything else. And you know what? I did that video a long time ago. I think everybody's just overcomplicating the roller setup to the point where now I do know that the ortur roller needs to be mirrored and all that kind of stuff. But the difference is with this one that we're using the y-axis, but it's on the right side. So if you can understand that, I don't know if I understand that. But anyway, you saw how easy it is to use. There were no outtakes here. There were no retakes here. You saw it step by step. I recorded each one, record, stop, all in a row. And you got to see it firsthand, just how simple it is to use. So if you're looking for a budget laser, now I was impressed. I have to say, I was impressed with the Comgrow. So you've got the 400 by 400 work area, which is a typical size for, the hobby lasers. It's a good size. What is that? 17.5 inches by 17.5 inches, I think, something like that. So you got the 400 by 400 work area. You've got the roller accessory. You've got the honeycomb bed with the metal tray. And you don't have to necessarily, order those legs for it. You can just take, 4 little pieces of 3/4 inch wood and put it underneath the honeycomb bed so that it raises it up enough where the airflow can go in and out from underneath. And it really is important that you raise that honeycomb bed up just a little bit. Because if you don't, you're going to get a mini explosion in there. Ask me how I know. So this was something I discovered a couple of years ago with the CO2, and I got a big explosion. It blew up, and I thought it broke the plexiglass. That's how hard it hit. So you don't want those fumes to accumulate inside all of the little honeycombs, because there'll be no place for them to go. And when there are enough in there, when that laser hits them, they're going to fire off. So make sure that whenever you use a honeycomb bed that you raise it up off of the platform that it's on. In this case, it's the steel tray. Nice thing is that all of the little pieces and the debris that drops through is still going to drop into the steel tray. So all you have to do is pick up the bed and dump the tray out. So I kind of like that. And, the enclosure, well, I love that enclosure from the get-go. I just love everything about it. It's really a grow tent, or an adaptation from a grow tent. And I like the design because it's so super lightweight. Super lightweight. easy to use. You can flip it up. You can open the window to get to your work area. You can do everything that you need with that enclosure. And it has the 4-inch port, so you don't need any specific type of hose. You can get a regular dryer hose to hook up to it. And all you need is a small 4-inch air pump to put in line and pump all those bad fumes right outside where they belong. So, everything about this is a win-win. The price, the equipment, it's a machine that works well. It's proven. The roller works well. The enclosure works well. And some people did mention about the enclosure that, well, there are those gaps underneath the, where it just rests on a table. It doesn't have a sealed base. Well, you're not supposed to have a sealed base in the first place. On the CO2 lasers, for example, there are gaps. There are air gaps where if you don't have air in, you're not going to be able to suck air out. So don't worry about that. None of that matters. The fumes are not going to come out from the cracks if you're exhausting them by force with a blower. So don't worry about that at all. If you do worry about that, you can put a piece of, I wouldn't even do that, foam rubber around the bottom. But I wouldn't do that because you need to have some place for the air to come in. And that's, it's the perfect setup. Because that tiny little bit that the straps around the metal bottom raises the enclosure allows just enough air to come in where it can exhaust properly. So leave it as is. Use it the way it is. So anyhow, I'm excited that they offered this package for you guys, my friends, my viewers, my subscribers, my patrons, all of you people out there that I love so much. And I'm really happy that I can bring this to you and save you a bunch of money. And, that is part of one of my goals anyway, saving people money. That's why you see me make these $1 videos, the $1 cutting boards and the $1 pens. And I try and keep it to a hobby level where, anybody can get into this. Anybody can make really beautiful stuff and not have to spend a lot of money doing it. So let me know what you think down in the comments. And by the way, I don't knock people over the head. It's the end of the video. You can back up now, do whatever you leave. But, if you haven't subscribed, I noticed that I just don't, only like 30% or less of my viewers are subscribed. So it doesn't cost you anything. Hit that subscribe button. Click the bell notifications too. That way you'll have notifications in your feed on YouTube when I launch new videos like this one. That might save you some money. So, as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.